Here's the hourly price chart for GameStop Corporation, stock ticker GME. So as we can see here, the stock is coming under a bit of selling pressure to start the trading week. This is a fairly widespread occurrence in the market. I've covered several videos at this point for today's trading session. And what we've been seeing as a whole here has been a bit of a pop to the top side in the early parts of the trading day. But then as things have sort of progressed here, we've seen many of those names reverse their gains and start heading lower. And we're talking about major stocks here, mega cap stocks, Microsoft, Nvidia. We're talking about Apple. We're talking about major tech names at this point. So these are not small. These are not small trading names here, and this does mean that large amounts of money did quickly enter the market during the beginning of the trading session, but then was pulled out of it a bit later. So not entirely surprising here to see some a bit of a downside price movement here with GME. But we're going to start with the hourly chart here just to sort of get a sense of where we will be heading here if we do break these next critical support levels to the downside. So this is what we'll be doing in this video, just sort of outlining some of these outlining some of these price levels in this video. So first, what I would want to point to would be this 2337 level, which is the price low from the July 25 trading session. We're currently trading within relatively close proximity to this price zone at the moment, and a downside break here would definitely be a bearish event. Mostly what it would mean here is that we would have a price failure at the 23.6% Fibonacci retracement of this dominant trending move. So that's not the type of thing that you want to see. In addition to that, we are trading below this exponential moving average cluster, which does suggest that momentum is headed toward the downside, is being forced toward the downside. And then in addition to that, you also have a negative indicator reading in the relative strength index. So this is sort of a mixture of negative pieces of evidence here, which do suggest that this 2337 support level is likely to come under continued pressure. Overall, we are looking at some events in the broader market that I think sometimes people might not pay attention to. Currently this week, there are some important event risks that will be happening because we will be seeing earnings reports from 4 of the 7 Mag 7 technology companies. Microsoft, Apple, Meta Platforms, and Amazon will all be reporting earnings this week. So it definitely stands to reason that this is probably going to affect sort of the general tone that's seen in the market. And if we do start to see selling pressure in those stocks, if we do see negative performances there, it would stand to reason that large amounts of money are going to start exiting the market, and then it's going to be harder for all stocks to start to trend higher. So given the fact that we're trading at very critical support levels at the moment, this does sort of paint a picture which suggests that a downside break might be coming here. So if we do break 2337, I'm not saying that we will or we won't, but if we do break there, the next level to the downside does come in a bit lower here. This would come at the July 1 trading session, which posted at 2232. So we would see a bit of a further decline here, roughly just a little over $1, and further downside would be possible at that point. The main reason we can sort of drill in here a bit and sort of see why this is important here, why this latest price movement is important. It's mostly due to the fact that we have this dominant price move here, looking at these prior highs at just below 2980. And then these later price lows at 2337. If we use that as the dominant trending move here, that would be this sort of moving this white line here. This would be the distance that the price has traveled. And if we're using that as our basis, this price failure here really did come at the 23.6% Fibonacci retracement, or just ahead of there. This level would have been found at roughly 2490, and as we can see here, the ultimate high here was less than 15 cents away from there. In addition to that, you do have this declining purple line here, which is the 100 period exponential moving average. And this also, it looks quite clear that this did provide resistance for the stock, and did make it much more difficult for share prices to move higher. We do have to keep in mind what's going on here in the broader market, though, because to start the trading day today, we did see some movements higher in many of the stocks that I cover, and this is largely the Mag 7 type of names here. So we're talking about Apple and Microsoft and Nvidia and things like that. We did see an early jump in the beginning of the day. But then, somewhat quickly, those stocks did start to reverse course and head lower. So, similar action seems to be happening here, both with GameStop and with AMC. So, overall, it's much harder to find stocks in the market that are trending higher rather than trending lower. And when we combine this with the fact that, you've got these major earnings releases that are coming out later this week, it's very hard to ignore the fact that, a negative result there could result in large amounts of money leaving the market. And this could put a lot of pressure on the major stock benchmarks. So that means the S&P 500, the NASDAQ, as well as the Russell 2000, which is the small cap stock benchmark. So I would not overlook these things into the later parts of the week here, because there's going to be a lot of money flowing into the market in whichever direction is suggested by these earnings reports. And if we do see a lot of downside here, in my view, it's going to make it it's going to make it much easier for the short selling side of the market to start pumping money into bearish positions in GME. At the moment, there's just not much support here to the downside if we do lose this level at 23.37. Not saying we will lose that level, but if we do, you're probably looking at at least another dollar in downside here before we start to find some support. So overall, these are the levels to watch. To the top side, I should say, if we were to see a price break above, I would call this roughly 24.80, 24.90 around here. I would say that could take pressure off of the downside. Because at that point, we should also be trading above the exponential moving average cluster. But this is the level that I would need to see break in order to start to get bullish on the stock and to start to expect further gains in GameStop. So here's the current market update for GameStop Corporation, stock ticker GME. Our high value trading strategies membership is currently available for a limited time for only $9.99 per month. These high conviction investment strategies are characterized by superior risk to reward metrics that target massive market beating returns over time. Join now to outperform the market. Lock in this special introductory rate of just $9.99 per month for the entire lifetime of your membership and start trading stocks with the pros.